Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon to you. That's a lively audience. Switzerland, as you know, is becoming famous, or has become famous, for hosting some of the world's best private schools, like the one which invited us here today. Brazil is famous for being the world capital of the best schools of Samba. Now, to us gringos, Samba is like a Brazilian version of a huge street parade with gorgeous women and very handsome men. And that is probably the best way to deeply insult Brazilian sambistas when you talk about their passion. For them, Samba is something very close from a true religion. For Samba, they dedicate what we probably all agree here in this room is the most sacred time for us, which is our leisure time, the free time, the time when we can finally choose to be with those we love, with our families, with our friends, boyfriends, girlfriends. This sacred time where we can finally do what we want to do, what fulfills our passion, what interests us truly. And what interests Sambistas is year after year, day after day, ensuring that their school will be the best during the carnival competition. Now, you might be surprised to hear that there's a lot in common between you and the Sambistas. Sambistas, once a year, go under a very tough exam. During 1 hour, a jury will decide if all the time, all the passion, all the effort they've put into preparing their show is worth being called the best, or if they lost. For a Sambista, arriving number 2 is losing. For you, those of you into the last year of the school, between June and July, a jury of professors will decide if the effort of a whole lifetime, if all the passion, all the hard work, all the suffering, all the sacrifice, being away from home, being away from your families, the work you sometimes do late at night, even though the professor didn't ask for it, a jury will decide if your work was hard enough, was profound enough, and was well structured enough. And if you fail, you will be requested to come back and dedicate another full year of your life to get your baccalaureate. So, prior to coming here, I went to visit some of the Samba masters. And I asked them what were their secrets. Those people win more often than the others. And I was interested to know, how do they motivate others? But more important, how do they motivate themselves to win more often than the others? And in all those interviews, 3 words came back quite often. Purpose, this is why I do it. Passion, this is how Samba gets me out of bed in the morning. And pleasure, this is why I like it. Let's listen to the first person. His name is Ademir da Silva. Ademir is one of the most, if not the most famous songwriter in Brazil. Listen to what Samba is for him. You might be a bit surprised.
Nós somos de uma nação muito carente, muito recente, né? E no início do século passado, nós descobrimos uma maneira de descontrair, de contar a história do nosso povo, de contar a história do Brasil, de uma forma que todos compreendessem, entendeu? E que todos se divertissem com isso. O carnaval para algumas pessoas hoje se tornou um modo de vida. E não só um modo de vida que possa trazer recursos, não, por trazer alegria, por trazer horizontes, né? O carnaval indica horizontes. O que faz a gente se apaixonar pelo carnaval é que é uma coisa gostosa e que você cada ano tem mais vontade de fazer. São novidades que surgem, são temas que surgem, são comunidades que se unem e é uma maneira que nós encontramos de tirar a comunidade do vazio.
So samba is not about singing and dancing for the best songwriter. Samba is about giving pride, giving a sense of existing to the untouchable class of Brazil, which are the poor people living in the favelas, in the slums. That's what samba is all about. It is about re-giving them a sense that they exist. Those people are being looked down at, are being at best totally ignored by the self-called upper class the whole year long. Samba gives them something to dream of. During 1 week, they will be the queens and the kings of their country. During 1 week, millions of people will watch them on TV, and hundreds of thousands of tourists will come and visit the show live in the stadium. That's what samba is for a man like Ademir. Now let me ask you, what is your purpose in life? Are you the result of an accident between mom and dad? Or were you born for something? Do you have an ideal? Is there something you really fight for in life? I've been one of you a long time ago. When I sat on the same benches of your school, I was shocked to discover that kids aged 5 or 6 would never go to school because their family needed their meager slave labor salary just to eat. I was infuriated to realize that people of your age, girls and boys, were sold by their families to prostitution houses when love at your age should be something nice, romantic. I was ashamed to realize that in the world there are young people far smarter than all of us who will just never go to school because their families can't afford it. So my purpose in life, it started on the benches of this school, has been to study, yes, to try and become somebody more or less famous, somebody more or less influential, and really would try to make this world a fairer and a better place. As you can see, I haven't succeeded completely. There's still a lot of work. But that purpose still fills my life. What is yours? The second, passion. Let's listen to what Carlon has to say. Carlon is one of the best drummers, percussionists of Brazil. He doesn't see himself as a musician in a samba band.
Se eu ficar, sei lá, eu vou chutar assim, 5 dias que seja, sem colocar a mão no instrumento, sem tocar um pouco, sem olhar para a cara de um, olhar para a cara do outro e dar um sorriso e me divertir, eu não sei, eu acho que eu não consigo viver. Então, eu acho que isso é a paixão realmente pelo samba, que faz a gente mover essa coisa toda aqui, que é o carnaval, que é a explosão, a alegria. O dinheiro é bom? Lógico que é. É necessário? Também. No mundo do samba, eu acho que não. Tem pessoas que trabalham pro carnaval e ganham. Tem pessoas que trabalham pro carnaval e pagam. Não é que eu sou profissional, eu trabalho do samba e ganho dinheiro com o samba. Mas se eu não ganhasse, acho que eu estaria do mesmo jeito, fazendo do mesmo jeito, da mesma forma.
Money is important, it helps. But I have a passion. I can't stay more than 5 days without touching the instrument, looking at my fellow musician in the eyes, and start to create something magic. Samba is about fun. When I was a student in this school, you know who my passion was? You guys. My passion every morning was the other students. Playing sports with them, sitting in a classroom with them, with those I like and with those I strongly disliked. But that was still my passion. Today, age 53, 3 alumni of this school are my business partners. That tells you of the strength of the relationship we've built here together. Without passion, nothing happens. I hope when you wake up in the morning, it's not just out of fear of being punished, but because you do have a true passion that wakes you up and gets you going. Finally, the pleasure. You'll see here, this is a Sunday night. There should be a bit of sound that would be helpful if you could. This is a Sunday night. Those people are practicing like they've been practicing all the Sundays. They could be in a restaurant, they could be in a bar, they could be on Facebook, on the movies, but they're not. They're rehearsing like they've rehearsed already so many Sundays before, but they want to be perfect. You don't see it very well. There's a light little rain, but nobody's moaning. Nobody's complaining. Everybody's dancing and walking around. Now, let me ask you, When you wake up in the morning, when you hear, what is your passion? Passion should be something that is with you every moment of the day, even in the sad moments. I'll share with you something personal. I am mourning right now the death of my mother. That is something very painful for me. She was one of the person I loved the most. But even though I'm sad, even though I have tears in my eyes when I talk about her, I'm still enjoying the moment. I'm still intensely enjoying life and the people I'm talking to. So, I'd like to leave you with one picture that a colleague of mine, one young and bright colleague of ours called Oriana, she's born in Congo, showed me one day when I asked her about what was motivating her to work with us. And she showed me that picture, and I love that picture. That young woman has decided to turn her back to a very comfortable situation, probably. She is heading towards a road that doesn't look like the stairway to heaven. The horizon is bleak. She doesn't know what she's going to find at the end of it. But she preferred to leave because the situation she was in did not fulfill her purpose, does not help her passion of growing, and didn't make her happy. The answer of my colleague to my question, what would make you leave us, was that picture. So I wish you, from now on, to wake up every morning with pleasure, fun, enjoying the great and the tough moments you're having. I hope you're going to continue, grow, and learn. And more than anything else, I really wish you to discover, realize what you were born for, how you will make a difference, what kind of legacy you will leave in this world. Good luck for your baccalaureate. Enjoy the afternoon. Thank you very much.